Hey guys, BookNadirahAli here. Welcome back to my channel. I'm back again with another story time. My words always seem to not work out when I decide to record. Anywho, you already see what the title, the heading of this video is, so I'm just going to get straight to the story. I always have to give you the back end of the story before I tell you what led up to the present. So the back end of the story is I was preparing to get my boobs done. A whole procedure, like a whole process you got to go through before you can actually get your surgery done. So what happened was, I didn't know this, but I had to get like a lot of blood work done. They want to check to make sure you don't have any blood diseases or nothing's going on with you that they need to know about. They like to check your heart and all this stuff. Like it's just a bunch of like things you got to go through before you can actually have a surgery. I went in, I scheduled an appointment to go see my what would I call him? There's a word for it. It was my doctor, primary care doctor, that's what it is. Scheduled an appointment to go see my primary care doctor. I actually had to switch doctors because the doctor I used to go to, like something happened, I don't know, but I had to switch doctors. So this was the first time I ever even been to this actual doctor's office. And when I went to my appointment, I was talking to the doctor. I let him know why I was there. I'm like, I'm trying to get my boobs done. And the place that I was getting my boobs done at was in New York City. And they had sent me some paperwork and just like everything that I needed to be tested for. They sent me paperwork and they said to give it to my primary care doctor, and that they wanted my primary care doctor to fax or email the paperwork over to them once my results were in. So what happened? All right, so when I went to go see my doctor, and I'm just letting him know why I'm there. I'm trying to get my boobs done. This is everything that they're trying to test me for. So okay, the first thing I had to do was, I don't remember what it was called. It's something, they had to put like all these like monitors all over me. It was like it seemed like something off a movie. Like they had to put it all over like my neck and my chest and my arms, and basically they were just checking my heart just to make sure like everything was cool with that. I don't remember what it's called. I'll put it down in the description box, or someone comment. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about. I just forgot the name. And then I also had to get blood work done to be tested for HIV or any other blood diseases. So what happened was, all right, so I got tested. The first thing I did was get my heart checked, and everything was, you get your results for your heart like right then and there. And as for the blood work, it takes a couple days for them to, get everything, like have all your results. So, they told me they were going to give me a call. No, they didn't even say they were going to give me a call. They just said after all my blood work and everything, after they tested all my blood work, they were just going to send my paperwork to my surgeon, and we were going to get then everything was just going to be cool. So, okay, they did my blood work. Number one, I'm terrified of needles. Like, I hate needles. Like, I got the blood work done. After I got the blood work done, I just expected that, I expected that they were just going to send my paperwork over, and then I was going to go forth with my procedure. But that's not what happened, unfortunately. So about 2 days later, I get a call back from, I guess, the secretary at the doctor's office, and she was like, no, I didn't get a call from them. No, I'm lying. I called them because it was only supposed to take about 2 or 3 days for it to get done. And I called them because I called my doctor. I called my surgeon where I was getting my surgery. I called their office and I was like, hey, did you guys receive my blood work? And they were like, no, we still haven't received it. And in order for you to, come in for your boobs, we have to have your blood work. Like, you can't get it done. So I was freaking out because it was like, I had to get my boobs done in like a couple days, and I'm like, y'all has been supposed to send my paperwork. Why didn't they send my paperwork? So I called the doctor's office and I'm like, hey, I gave the doctor, the paperwork for my surgeon, and he still hasn't sent over my results. And the woman on the phone said, oh, we can't send over your results because you're gonna have to come in. And I'm like, what do I have to come in for? And she's like, because your test results have been elevated. I'm sorry, I'm about to cry because telling this story. Hold on. Because that really just made me like feel some kind of way. Like I just like replayed the whole thing in my mind. Okay, let me get myself together. She's like, you know, your test results have been elevated. And I'm like, my test results have been elevated? What does that mean? And she's like, you know, something's wrong, you have to come in. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna come in right now. And she's like, you can't come in right now. And I'm like, why? Like, why can't you tell me what's wrong? What is elevated? What is wrong? She would not give me no answers. So I just like start crying and going crazy because I end up going online and Googling blood results elevated. And the only thing that was coming up was HIV. So I was going crazy and I was home alone, and I called my mom because she was at work. So I called her and I told her what the lady had said to me. So now my mom's freaking out. My mom's like, I'm leaving work. Like, what the fuck is going on? So the only thing we have in our mind is HIV, because that's what I Google, and that's what I told my mom. I'm like, I Google elevated test results. It says HIV positive. And that's when my mom started Googling and stuff, and that was the only thing that was really coming up. Like, there was really nothing else coming up. It was like HIV positive, HIV, like that's all that was coming up for your blood results to be elevated. So then what did I do? Okay, so my mom said that she was leaving work. So she like hurried up, rushed home, and no, she told me to meet her back at the doctor's office. So I met her there. We go inside, and we went and asked for the lady who I spoke to on the phone. And my mom's like, you know, you told my daughter that her test results were elevated and that she could come in. And she was like, yeah. She was like, unfortunately, you know, although you guys are here, we're not she said that the doctor wasn't there, so we weren't, like, they weren't authorized to give us any information without the doctors signing off on the blood results. So you mean to tell me that you just told me that my blood results are elevated, but you can't tell me what's wrong with me because a doctor hasn't signed off on my blood work? Like, that doesn't even make any fucking sense. You mean to tell me if I got HIV, you can't tell me right now because somebody didn't sign the paper? No. So my mom starts going crazy. Like, she was cursing this lady out. Like, y'all gonna tell me something today. Y'all gonna tell me something. So that's when I guess, I don't know if it was like a supervisor or somebody. She came out and she was like, what's all the ruckus? Like, what's going on? What's the problem? And my mom was like, you know, well, this woman, my daughter called, and this woman told my daughter that her test results have been elevated and that she can't tell us what's wrong. So the lady was like, you know, well, unfortunately, that's how our rules are. That's the way it goes. So, you know, this was a Friday when this happened. And the lady said, you know, she's just going to have to wait until Monday when the doctor gets in order for her to get her results, or in order for us to tell you anything. We can't tell you nothing. So from Friday, Saturday, Sunday till Monday at like 3 o'clock, I was walking on eggshells. I was stressed out. I was crying. Like, I didn't know what to do, how to feel, or anything, because the only thing that was coming up on the computer when I Googled it was HIV. So at that point, you know, I'm just like, all I can do is pray. That's all I can do. All I can do is pray, because I'm just gonna have to wait. I mean, they're not gonna tell me anything. I can't keep Googling shit. It's just gonna scare me even more. And then the lady says to my mom, when my mom told her that, when my mom was talking to the actual supervisor lady, whoever she was, my mom said to her, you know, when we Googled elevated test results, this is what came up. And the lady was like, well, what you need to not do is diagnose yourself off of Google. So she was really just no help, you know. She wasn't really being smart about the situation. She just was like, you know, if there's something for you to worry about, I would tell you. And I'm just like, well, it is something for us to worry about, because if my blood results are elevated, then that means there's something wrong with me. So yeah, make a long story short, we end up leaving with no information. And the entire weekend I stayed in my room. Like, I was very sad. And come Monday, let me just get to the story. Come Monday, when I actually met with the what's his name? I met with the doctor. Let me tell you. First of all, I'm already super anxious, super scared, like nervous, I just felt everything. I felt everything. I don't even, that's the only way I can explain it. Just, I felt everything. So, I'm sitting in a waiting room, and number one, they had me sitting in the waiting room for 30 minutes. Mind you, I despise being late, so I was 15 minutes early for my appointment because I don't like being late. And so I was there 15 minutes early plus another added 30 minutes. So I'm like sitting at the edge of my chair going crazy because I'm trying to figure out, why is it taking so long? Like, why? I need to know now. Like, I wanted to know right then and there, like, what's wrong? So they finally called me in, and there was a nurse. The doctor didn't even come straight in. A nurse came in first. So the nurse came in, and she just like checked my temperature and, you know, check your blood pressure, you know, that whole little thing that they go through before the doctor comes in. She did all that. And so I'm talking to her and I'm letting her know like what's going on, and, you know, like I'm going crazy. I was like, did you see my test results? And she was like, I haven't seen them yet. And I was like, okay, well, can you go look at them and tell me what's wrong with me? Because the doctor is taking too long. And at this point, it's going on an hour, and I can't take this. Like, I'm gonna go crazy. I was going crazy in my mind. I was going crazy. So she was like, okay, I'm gonna go. So she opens up my my little folder, and it had my test results in it. So of course, I'm trying to like peek over to try to figure out like what it says, but I don't understand doctor language. Like, I don't know what the fuck this shit says. It's not even, it doesn't even look like English to me at this point. Maybe because I was just delusional. I don't know, but I was just like, I don't know what the fuck this says. So as she's, I wish I had a like little paper. As she's I'm just gonna use my hand. As she's looking at the papers, right? She's just looking at my blood work. And as she's looking at it, she's like this. And then she looks at me, and I'm like, what? What does it say? What's wrong? She was like, I'm not authorized to tell you what it says. The doctor has to tell you what it says. But she said, let me tell you something. And I was like, what? She was like, are you having sex? I was like, no. She was like, do you have a boyfriend? I was like, not anymore. And she was like, okay, well, whenever you decide that you are going to have sex, you need to use protection. You need to use protection at all times. You need to protect yourself at all times. Protect yourself. So now I'm just like on the verge of crying, because now you're giving me this like sex prep talk, and you're scaring me even more. So, and she's like, you know, just trying to give me like a little history, you know, on why I should protect myself. And, you know, I'm young, and you're this and you're that, and you need to be having safe sex. And then she started telling me about, you know, places I can go to get more information, and where I can get free condoms, and just all this shit. And I'm just like, just tell me what the fuck my results say. Like, so after the pep talk, it just scared me even more. Then the doctor comes in, like maybe 10 minutes after she leaves. He comes in and he's like all happy. Haha, hey, Miss Aaliyah, da 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 da. And I'm like, I've waited for you for about I don't know, an hour and how long? I just want my test results at this point. Like, I don't even want to be friendly right now. I'm not in a good mood. I don't even know how I felt. I don't know. But he came in and he opened my folder again, and he started to view my test results. And I was like, you know, I started to tell him what happened. I was like, the woman on the phone told me that my test results have been elevated, so what's wrong with me? And he's like, so he's looking just like the nurse did. He opened it up, he started looking at the book, at the little folder, and he's just like, and I just screamed. I was like, what does it say? What does it say? What does it say? And he was like, oh, nothing. You're totally fine. And I'm like, what? What do you mean I'm fine? He's like, oh, nothing's wrong. Like, you don't have elevated test results. There's nothing wrong with your blood. You're completely healthy. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? He's like, the reason why the woman on the phone said that was because that's their procedure. No matter if you have good or bad test results when you're getting blood work done, he said, it's, I guess, by law now that you have to, no matter if the test results are good or bad, I'm like, let me get my words together. No matter if the test results are good or bad, every patient still has to come in and talk over the results with the doctor. And I'm just like, okay, I understand that, but I don't understand the fact that y'all just dragged me through this like long process. And I'm going crazy. Like, you can't do shit like that to people. I was thinking about suicide. Like, I was at that point because I can't live with that. I'm not gonna live with that. So he's like, you know, that's just our procedure. I'm so sorry that, you know, you had to go through that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, okay, yeah. And then I'm ready to go. So I just went home and I prayed. I just prayed. Because that was the biggest scare of my life. Like, that was the biggest scare. And I felt like it was a sign from God, you know, to just be careful, protect yourself. And I felt like, you know, I had to go through it to tell my story, which is why I'm here and I'm telling you guys this story. Because I feel like we live in a society where, you know, being safe isn't cool. You know, so it's like, oh, you use condoms? Like, who does that? You know, and I feel like, you know, a lot of artists, they're out here and they're making songs about, you know, sleeping with women unprotected, going in girls raw, as they would say, no glove, as they would say. And, you know, you got younger adults or younger kids looking up to these people, and they're thinking it's cool, and it's not. You don't want to be in that position. You don't want to have to live your life taking pills every day. You know, I have a friend who is HIV positive, and his days consist of pill popping all day. That's not a life that you want to live. You don't want to live not being able to have unprotected sex with your wife or your husband to, you know, make children. You don't want to live like that. You don't want to, you don't, and it's really sad, you know, it's really sad. I feel like, you know, HIV isn't talked about anymore because, you know, people say, you know, oh, Magic had it, he don't got it anymore. You know, people they take it lightly, and I feel like it shouldn't be taken lightly at all because it's still something that can ruin your life. Although people are out here and they're living and breathing and coping with it, who wants to live like that? I don't. So it's just like, I feel like, you know, that you have to be careful. You have to protect yourself, and don't be naive. Don't be stupid. Don't just go, how do I say this? Don't give in to the moment. because I know things get heated. So if you're with someone that you're really attracted to, and I don't know, maybe you guys just met, or maybe you guys been dating for a while, and you get to that moment where it's like it's about to go down, and maybe you're drunk, or maybe you're just not thinking with your head, you're thinking with your other head, and you end up slipping up, and just for a quick 6 to 10 minutes, you give in to that quick instant gratification for a couple seconds, just to end your entire life for a couple seconds. Is it really worth it? It's not. It's not. It's not worth, not being able to have children. It's not worth, I'm sure you could have children, but why? What woman would want to what woman would want to be HIV positive and bring a baby into this world that's HIV positive? I wouldn't do that, because I would want my child to have an equal opportunity, the way I have an equal opportunity at life. So, you don't want to live like that. Don't give in to that instant gratification. Think with your head, not your body. Think with your head. Be smart. Think long term. Don't think, oh, I'm about to get this quick nut. No. Is it worth it? Is that 6 minutes? Is that 10 minutes? Is that 4 minutes? Is it worth your entire life? No, it's not. So that was my big scare that I had. I feel like I learned a lot from it, because I'm young. You guys that are watching, you're young. Everybody's done stupid things in their life that you think about and you're like, damn, I shouldn't have did that, or I shouldn't have did that, or I should have handled this a different way. So you don't want to get to the point where you're sitting in a doctor's office and they hand you that paper, or you got to come in for your blood work and they show you, you're HIV positive, and now just everything stops. Everything is different. It's not the same. You don't live your life the same. You're no longer the same person. You no longer have that purpose you thought you had. Now everything has changed. Everything. And then the people around you start to change. Everything's extremely different, So it's like, it's not worth it. I'm just here to give you guys just a positive message. Just protect yourself and think about yourself. Put yourself first. That's the first thing. Put yourself first. Another thing is, I feel like a lot of girls out here, I feel like, I'm not going to say for every girl, but, I have friends that I talk to, and, from, just hearing other people's stories, I feel like, a lot of times women give in and they have sex to please the man. It's not really for themselves. So think about yourself. Think about, hey, after I do this, am I going to regret it? After I do this, what is it going to lead to? Or how is this benefiting me? So, I don't know. That was just my scare. And I can definitely name it, mark it as one of the worst days of my life. I can't even explain, like, how I felt, like, how it made me feel. As you can see, it's like making me cry just talking about it, because it was really bad. It was really, really bad. Like, for someone to be thinking about suicide, like, I don't want to live like that. I wouldn't be able to live like that. I know that for a fact. So, it just wasn't a good time for me, and I felt like I had to go through it, because with any situation in your life that you go through, it's just to protect you for the future. You have to go through it, and you have to learn whatever it is that you have to learn. Everything happens for a reason. Everything. So I felt like I had to go through that, because maybe in my future, I'm going to run into somebody or something where I might be about to give into that instant gratification and have unprotected sex, and then I ruin my life. So the fact that I went through that, I'm smarter, I'm much wiser, I move different when it comes to men, everything. So, and I, just don't give in easily, never. So that's my story. I'm not going to keep dragging it along. I already didn't talked enough. What are we going on, like 30 minutes? I don't know. But that's it. That was my big scare. I just want to say, you know, thank you guys again for watching my YouTube, commenting, liking, and subscribing. I really appreciate all the love and support that I get from you all. And you know, if you ever went through this, or you know anyone who's went through this, or who might be HIV positive, or who might be struggling with any a blood disease, or struggling with anything, you know, I'm here to talk to you guys and engage with you and give you words of encouragement and stuff like that. So, you know, you can comment below, and you know, we can talk. Let's just talk. Let's hash it out. This was a very sensitive situation for me, and it was scary. It was like the scariest thing that I've ever been through in my life. So, and you know, like, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who's had this huge scare, because a lot of, you know, we're all human. We have a lot of things in common. We can relate on a lot of different levels. So, you know, comment below and let's hash it out. And again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And also hit me up on Instagram, and that's @NadirahAli. And then my Snapchat is where I get shit poppin'. And that's Nadirah.Ali. So yeah. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll catch up with you next time.